Just lift and roll your shoulders and drop them down. Step with your feet a little bit apart and just go from side to side. So this very, very universally Eastern, Far Eastern practice we've done so many times before, but it moves your energies, my energies, our energies. There are 5 of them in the Eastern world, and each energy governs a part of the body or emotional part. So illness and disease in the Eastern philosophy is due to a stagnation of our energies. So think of when we don't move, there's a blocking up. The lymph system doesn't move. Tumours, although they're fast growing, emanate from, as the Eastern view is, from a stagnation. So this is the antithesis of that. This is anti-stagnation. So you can lift your heels, you can move from the navel from side to side, and you can engage your arms high, which will increase your movement, or you can just sway from side to side. And then generally slow your movement down and gently come back to standing in the centre. Bring your feet to hip width apart, lift and roll your shoulders. And we're going to start with just one immune booster. We've done this before. You're breathing in and out equal amounts of time, breathing in and out. So you're forcing the breath. And I would say just join in with me when you can, and it will instantly become clear to you. You can breathe in through your nose, or as you're at home, you can breathe in and out through your mouth. And it clears the upper lungs, so particularly with our focus at the moment in this current situation, very, very good for boosting your immunity. So just join in when you're ready. So I'm reaching out as I'm breathing in, breathing out. Next on the last one, and then just sway from side to side. So that naturally increases your breath rate, and as you have been breathing out, that almost cleans out the base of your lungs, it expels stale air, and there are 3 breathwork exercises for total immunity. If you do just one, you will immeasurably improve your health. But that particular upper lung movement is very, very key, as my understanding is, for repelling anything that we don't want at the moment. So excellent for that. And then just sway your hands to and fro. And then just release and just lift and roll your shoulders. Breathing in, raise your hands up, clasp and reverse upwards. Press your feet down. Breathe out to one side. Breathe into the centre, stretch up. And breathe out to the other side, just slightly bounce. Breathe into the centre. Turn to the side. Come to the centre. Turn to the other side. Come to the centre. And then just test your balance by lifting your heels. And then breathing out, lower your heels. And bend your knees, separating your hands to come into a soft chair. Now if that's too much, your bottom goes away from you, bring your hands onto your waist. You'll feel your abdominal muscles just engage slightly. Press your feet down as you come up to standing and lift and roll your shoulders. Breathing in, hands out. Breathing out, turn to look beyond the third finger of one hand. Breathe into the centre and breathe out, turning to look beyond the third finger of the other hand. And then just turn your palms up and see how far you can turn them back so that your little finger lifts up. And once more, look beyond the third finger, or look beyond the hand of one side, come back to the centre and look beyond the hand of the other side and come back to the centre. And then just release your arms and lift and roll your shoulders. And clasp your hands behind you and aim your knuckles to the ground. So this opens you up here, which you've got 2 lung meridian points here. So breathing out, just lift your hands slightly away from you to turn to one side, come to the centre, and breathing out, turn to the other side. Come to the centre. Just step your feet slightly further apart. This is optional. If you feel dizzy, please don't do this. It's just bending your knees and lifting your hands up behind you. Only lift them up once your head is down, but this is optional. Press your feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra. And release your hands and lift and roll your shoulders. And then just hold your wrists, lift your hands slightly away from you and turn to one side, come to the centre and turn to the other side and come to the centre. And release your hands. Raising your hands up, stretch your fingers, your thumb comes towards you and your little fingers go away and your fingers stretch in between. So this again is just releasing out, looking either straight ahead or up depending on where your neck is, and then breathing out, lowering your hands back down alongside you and lift and roll your shoulders. Just turn your head to one side, bring it back to the centre and gently turn it as little or as much as you would like to the other side and come back to the centre. And once again, turn to one side, come to the centre and come turning your head to the other side and come to the centre. Lift and drop your left shoulder, lift and drop your right shoulder. And just carry on a couple of times, lifting and dropping. So this obviously releases your shoulder, but also your neck. And it just releases any tension. We often hold tension around the throat area because this neck links the body to the emotional, the mind, the body with the head, but it's also the bridge of our emotions. And so this is where we often hold tension. And it's often where we are not great at speaking our truth. So we think one thing and say another. So there's a mismatch in what we say and what we do. And then just lift both shoulders, round them, and then just release. And just shake your hands out. And then once more, raising your hands up, clasping and reversing. Breathing out to one side, breathing into the centre and breathing out to the other side. Come to the centre and just turn to one side. Centre and turn to the other side. Come to the centre and lower your hands. Step your feet out slightly and carry on lowering, bending your knees as little or as much as you would like. Turn when you're comfortably down to the left foot and feel the stretch on your right lower back, up your quadratus lumborum muscle from the lower back up to those ribs, and then centre and turn to the right so you'll feel it on your left side. Come to the centre, bring your feet forward and clasp behind your calves, just folding in. Your chin goes to your chest, and then pressing your feet down as you roll up vertebra by vertebra. Feel you can use your hands to support you, and bring your hands below your navel. So this actually is a Qigong breathwork exercises, and so when I say navel, it's actually your dantian. And just use that to lengthen and straighten, being aware of your posture. And then breathing in, raise your hands up over your head and then just release. This strange exercise is very soothing because it's actually physically breaking the connection between you, your magnetic field, and the outside world. So it just almost breaks your focus and concentration. And then just lifting and raising your hands, your shoulders, you lift and raise and lower your shoulders back alongside you. And then this, again, very strange exercise. As you bend your knees, you're flying. And this, you can see, is moving your ankles, your knees, your hips are moving. Your ribs and chest lift up as you raise up, exposing under your arms, so your lymph system. Your shoulders are moving. Your elbows are moving. Your wrists are moving, and you can make your fingers move. So it's such a beneficial exercise. It becomes weight bearing. As you bend your knees, you automatically engage your lower abdominal muscles, but not a lot. You can decide to have your feet slightly wider apart if that works better for you. Just find your focus. And then we'll just finish and lower the hands back down alongside and lift and roll the shoulders. So coming to the top of the mat, we'll just do one salute to the sun and then come into our practice for the day. So lift and roll your shoulders. Inhale, exhale, hands together at the heart centre. Inhale, hands up, or look straight ahead. Just depends on where your neck is. Breathing out, roll down, hands either side of your feet. And breathing in, step back with your right foot in a straight line, and then bring your right knee to the ground. Left foot slides back, so you're in cat, kneeling. Breathing in, dip your back and either look up, which is classic cat, or look along the floor, okay, according to your neck. Breathing out, round your back, your chin goes to your chest, tuck your toes, tummy comes in, lower abdomen comes in towards the spine, and lift your both knees, pushing back into a soft downward dog, and do feel that you can adjust your feet wider if you need to. Bend both knees and then just begin to straighten them, but your heels don't have to touch the ground. Bend your knees and then straighten. And then bend your knees and then straighten. And then bend both knees and come back down to the ground as you bring your hands to the left. And that gives space for your right foot to come up. Hands either side now of your right foot. Just enjoy stretching out from your tailbone to the top of the head. And then tuck your back left toes under. And now make sure that there is a right angle at your right leg. You can go beyond the right angle when you're stretching forward, but to come up where you're putting weight on your foot, it's better supported by a right angle. Lift your left knee and step or slide your left foot towards your right foot. Hands go on your shins. Breathing in and lengthening along your spine from the tailbone all the way to the top of the head. And as you breathe out, bend your knees and elbows out to the side. Breathing in, press your hands on the shins once more as you lengthen from the tailbone to the top of the head. And stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, just soften both knees. Press your feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And carry on raising your hands up, either looking ahead or up. Stretch your fingers. This becomes almost a back bend, uplifting for the mood, and then breathing out, lower your hands and lift and roll your shoulders. Inhale, exhale, hands together. Inhale, hands up, stretch up according to your neck capacity, and breathing out, round as you lower, hands either side of your feet. Inhale, step or slide your left foot back. You can keep it high for a moment. You might like to use your right elbow to secure your right leg in, and then bend your left knee and bring it to the ground. And then slide your right foot along so that you are in cat. Your feet can be tucked under or flat. So inhaling, bend your, dip your back, look up or along the mat. Breathing out, round, chin comes to chest, tuck your toes under, engage your tummy or lower abdomen in slightly, engage your perineum. and come into your downward dog. Lengthen along your back first, so that your bottom goes away from your hands, and then straighten your feet. Feel that you can adjust your feet to widen hip width apart if you need this. Bend one leg and then the other, so that you're walking the dog and swaying your hips from side to side. And then bend both knees back down to the ground. And untuck your toes. Hands go to the right this time as your left foot comes up, and hands either side of your left foot. Stretch forward if you'd like to, but then to come up, come back to a right angle with your left knee, tuck your right toes, tummy in, perineum engages, lift up your right knee and step your right foot to your left foot. Hands on the shins as you breathe in, lengthen along your spine. Breathe out, bend your knees, bend your elbows, tuck in. Breathe in, lengthen your spine, engage your perineum and tummy in again. Stay here as you breathe out. And as you breathe in, soften your knees, press your feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Inhaling, raising your arms up, looking up, and breathing out, lower your hands back alongside you as you lift and roll your shoulders. And then just once more, sway from side to side. And just very gently come to slow your sway down and come to the centre. So we're going to do this next movement, moving around. So breathing in, raising your arms up, stretch your fingers. Breathing out, lower your hands. And breathing in, do the same again. And breathing out, lower your hands. Turn to your right, a quarter turn to your right. And do the same again with your hands. So moving around is breaking your connection to your focus, so it becomes a mindfulness exercise. Breathing in, lower your hands, and then breathing in as your hands go up again. And breathing out as you lower your hands back down alongside you. And again, we do another quarter of the turn, so you're completely, you're opposite facing your screen. So you're facing backwards. And again, breathing in, raising your hands up. Breathing out, lowering your hands. Breathing in, raising your hands up. Breathing out, lowering your hands. And then again, you take a quarter of a turn around. Again. Breathing in, raising your hands up. Breathing out, lowering. Breathing in, raising your hands up. And breathing out, lowering. And then a couple of turns to back to the beginning. And this time just raise your hands outwards at shoulder height and breathing out, bringing them to heart center. And breathing in, raising your hands out and breathing out, bringing them back to the center. And lowering your hands. And then lift and roll your shoulders. So this time, bring your left hand to your back of your waist. Stand with your feet hip width apart. And breathing in, raise your right arm upwards. Look ahead. Breathe out, bend your knees. And come forward, touching your hand, if you can, to the floor, lovely, but if not great for you, then just touch wherever, onto your shin, wherever you want to touch. Press your feet down as you roll up. Stretch your hands up. Breathing out, lowering. And we're going to do this a few times. Pressing the feet down as you roll up, stretching the arm out. The hand faces inside, so it turns towards your head. Breathing out, lowering down. In your breath time, pressing your feet down. As you press your feet down, just have an awareness of pressing your big toe and your second toe down. That's what secures you, secures your balance. But also stretch your feet out and just Press your little toe down just to make sure that you're balancing your feet totally. And breathing out, rolling down. Pressing down as you roll up. And breathing out, rolling down. Press your feet down as you roll up. Lower your right hand, release your left hand and lift and roll your shoulders. And now place your right hand on your lower back. And we'll do the other side as you breathe in, raising your hand up. You can look up if you want to, just depends where your neck capacity goes. Breathing out, rolling down. Press your feet down as you roll up. And breathing out, rolling down. Press your feet down as you roll up. Really stretching, you're almost getting into a back bend, and then breathing out as you roll down. So in this movement, we're going from a forward bend up to standing, so it's extension up to back bend, and then rolling down. So it's a wonderfully balancing movement from the back. And supported as you're doing one hand at a time and supporting your lower back on the other side. And then come back up to standing and lower your hands. And then come to the mat to lie on your back. So you'll find in traditional yoga quite a lot, this is echoed across many traditions actually, that you have a slight rest to let the movement come to your back, let the movement assimilate into the body. So you can either come to line with your feet stretched out, or you can come with your knees bent. And just wherever you are, just extend your toes. So that would mean that you need to lie down with your feet extended. Toes up to the ceiling and then toes away from you. Toes up to the ceiling and toes away. And then just circle your ankles a couple of times in one direction. And then circle your ankles a couple of times in the other direction. And now raise your right arm and extend your left heel. Breathing out, just relax your arm back down alongside you, relax your foot. And then breathing in, raise your left arm and extend your right heel. So it becomes a diagonal stretch. Chin in. And breathing out, lower your left hand, just relax both legs. Bend one knee and then the other and hug both knees into the chest. And just rock from side to side. Massaging across your lower back. So if you would like to massage further down on your bottom, just move your knees, still holding them slightly away from you, and that will bring the focus slightly further down onto your bottom, and then you can rock from side to side. So even in this movement, and now choose which you feel most comfortable with, you're still engaging your lower abdomen slightly and engaging your perineum. In an ideal world, it's easy to forget to do that. And just support your left leg underneath to bring the left foot to the floor. The left knee is looking upwards to the ceiling. And hugging your right knee into your chest. Drop your hands underneath your right thigh and extend your right leg upwards and extend the heel. And just circle the right ankle a couple of times in one direction, and then circle the right ankle a couple of times in the other direction. And then sliding your hands up the back of your right leg. You can keep a slight bend in the right leg, if that's good for you, and just stop where you feel that your hands naturally fall. You'll be bringing your right leg slightly towards your face. You can just enjoy stretching here. Explore extending your right heel if that's available to you, and just feel the lovely stretch along the back of the right leg. And then breathing out, hugging your right knee into your chest once more. Bringing your right ankle to your left leg and opening the right knee out to the side. Your hands can either rest on your abdomen or palms down on the floor as you just sway both knees from side to side. And again, you've got the option of massaging across your lower back and the upper part of your sacral area. Come to the centre. Use your hands if you need to support underneath the right leg to lift and release your right foot. And then just bring your right foot to the ground. And once more, bring your hands to your abdomen or palms down outside of you as you sway your knees from side to side. You can lift your hips off the ground as you sway your knees from side to side. And now, keeping the right foot where it is, bring your attention to your left side as you bend your left knee, hugging your left knee into your chest. And then dropping your hands underneath your left thigh, extend your left foot to the ceiling, just circling the ankle a couple of times in one direction, and then circling the ankle a couple of times in the other direction. And then sliding your hands up the back of your left leg, bringing your left leg towards you. You can keep a soft bend in your knee. Just enjoy breathing in and out. You can extend your left heel if you'd like to feel that stretch along the back of the leg. And then just release. And then sliding your hand down, bend your left knee once more in towards your chest. And turning your left knee outwards, bring your left ankle over your right leg. Your hands either go down onto your abdomen or palms down on the floor as you very, very gently rock your knees from side to side. And then just support your left leg under the left thigh to lift your left leg off, your left foot off your right leg, and place your left leg on the floor, hands on the abdomen or palms down as you rock your knees from side to side. And then hug both knees into the chest, rocking once more from side to side. And breathing in, your feet go up to the ceiling in a slight V and your hands go up behind you. They might just stay in the air, they might stretch right back onto the ground. Extend your heels and breathing out, hug your knees back into your chest again. Breathing in, extend both heels upwards, extend the heels as you straighten your legs, arms behind you. Breathing out, hug your knees into your chest. Breathing in, soles of the feet up, arms behind you, like a bug or a beetle lying on its back. Breathing out, hugging your knees in towards your chest. Breathing in, feet up in a V, arms behind. Breathing out, hug your knees into your chest. Breathing in as you go behind you. And this time, as you breathe out, hug your knees into your chest. And just gently rock from side to side. You might like to slide your hands down the shins. Your elbows might slightly go inside and hold your ankles, which will open your inner thighs, your inner groin more, and just rock from side to side. It's a supine happy baby pose. Well, it's not even that, it's a supine Baddha Konasana. Happy baby you'd hold under your feet. If you want to extend this to a happy baby, place your hands underneath your feet, your soles of your feet, to come into a happy baby, and then just rock from side to side. And even here, you can pay attention to bringing your lower abdomen in and engaging your perineum, which will roll you slightly further down onto your lower back, and gives you slightly more control, but this is just meant to be enjoyed, so just go to where you'd like to. And then releasing that, hugging the knees back into the chest again, rocking from side to side. And come to supporting your legs by holding them under the thighs and place one foot and then the other foot down onto the floor. Hands this time are palms down alongside you, and feel that you can lift your bottom and straighten up. Sometimes we can just lose that alignment. So hands palms down, feet hip width apart on the floor, knees up. Chin is slightly, it's not up to the ceiling, it's just the back of the neck's long. Press down with your feet, lift your bottom and raise your arms up, either slightly up or right behind you, lifting up as little or as much as you would like. Your chin naturally comes into your chest. Breathing out, lower your back down to the ground and lower your arms back down to the ground. And relax. And then when you're ready, press your feet into the ground again as you lift your bottom up as little or as much as you would like. Just check that your knees aren't splaying out, that they're pointing straight. Breathing out, lower your back down to the ground and lower your arms back down to the ground. And then again, pressing your feet into the ground as you lift up. Again, you're engaging your perineum, your arms go up, your chin tucks in. Your lower abdomen naturally comes in towards your spine in this position. It's very strengthening for lower back, lowering your arms and lowering your back down to the ground, almost rolling vertebra by vertebra back down to the ground. And then hug one knee and the other knee into the chest. You've got a choice here. You can either just hug your knees into your chest with your hands just hugging in from the side, which is very comforting. Your hands here do all the work. You can actually turn your hands round so that your fingers point downwards towards your feet. And in this position, your tummy does the work. So hug your knees into your chest. You'll feel your perineum slightly engaged and your lower abdomen comes in towards your spine. And still holding your knees, let them move away from you. And it's a nearest lightest touch. Hug your knees into your chest and you'll feel that your abdominal muscles are doing all the work. Breathing in, let your knees, still holding them, travel away. Breathing out, hug your knees into your chest. So for the next couple, you choose whether you'd like your abdominal muscles to do the work or whether you'd like your hands to the side, which is ultimately your shoulders and what your body's doing, just your abdominal muscles are relaxing a little bit more. So you choose which you prefer to do. Just hugging your knees into your chest and then just releasing them away. So this is variation for you yogis on a pose called Apanasana. And Apana is the downward foundational energy. It's connected with pain. So the Apana energy here, we moved in part of the opening 5 energies, but this is focusing on pain and releasing the lower foundational abdominal energy. So it's a letting go, letting everything go, and symbolically that connects into the past, letting everything go, not holding on to anything. And then just enjoy hugging the knees into the chest again, just releasing the feet. You might like to hold them under the thighs to support them, one foot and then the other foot back down to the ground. Just hands on the abdomen or down alongside you to let the knees rock from side to side one more time and the hips lift off the ground. And then we're going to be taking our time to roll onto our knees to kneel up. So you can either rock up and come onto your knees or roll to the right if that's available to you. Away from your heart, press your hands down and coming up to a kneeling position. High kneeling. So your knees are hip width apart. Slide your hands towards your knees and kneel up. And then raise your hands. Looking ahead or up, depending on you. And breathing out, bring your hands back down to the mat as you round your back, your chin comes to your chest. Slide your hands away from you so that your elbows touch the ground and your bottom goes into the air. Slide your hands back towards your knees as you kneel up. Slide your hands up your legs, your thighs, hands up, looking ahead or straight up, or looking up or ahead, and then breathing out, grounding your back, chin goes to the chest. Hands come to the ground, slide your hands away from you, elbows on the ground, bottom up. Slide your hands back. And just one more time, stretch your fingers, looking up or ahead. Bring your head upright and then just tuck your chin to your chest. Slide your hands along, elbows, bottom in the air. You can just touch the top of your head, the crown to the ground. That's optional. It's just connecting the crown to the ground. No weight on your neck at all if you do this. Then sliding your hands back to your knees, moving your bottom to the side, and coming to sitting in a comfortable position. I'm going to be in a cross-legged position. If you can manage that, that's great. If not, then legs out, it's absolutely fine. Bring your hands to your knees. Your thumb and second finger touch. Your hands can be down or up. Just straighten your back and just round, just to settle your pose. And then breathing in, turn your head to the left. Breathing out, head to the right. Breathing in, head to the left. Breathing out, head to the right. You turn your neck as little or as much as you would like. Breathing into the left, breathing out to the right. 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 Into the left, breathing out to the right, and just take a couple of breaths in your own time. You'll feel a just subtle movement. The left to the right movement, right to the left, but we're doing left to the right, balances the brain hemispheres. It's a breathwork exercise, so it's calming for the nervous system. It's a movement for the neck, so it balances the thyroid and the parathyroid glands, and they're part of the metabolic control, the master control, connecting into our hormonal system. And it becomes a mindfulness exercise because it's quite difficult to focus on anything when you're moving your head like this. The advanced movement of this, where you might have your eyes open, is part of the post-traumatic stress training that's being used in the States, in the US. It connects into ancient yoga, but people have their eyes open and rapidly move their eyes from left to right and back again to disconnect their minds from stress situations. So it's an instant de-stressor. And then come to the centre of your head and just notice any effects. And while you're here, we're going to do two things. One is to have a thought for the day. It could be for you or anybody close to you. And it's wishing a thought for that person or you for the day or week ahead. And mentally think that a couple of times just to set your intention. And then let that thought go. It's been set, that's fine. And now the second thing is to choose a colour for the day. Any colour. It can change from day to day, but your colour for today. And imagine wrapping yourself in your colour, inside and out, like a cloud of cotton wool, or a candy floss, or an auric egg would be the yogic thought. And just think you're protected for the day. Only positive things can come in, and negative is not allowed in, but negative can seep out. So you're surrounded by positivity. And take a bow for yourself as you bring your chin to your chest, bring your hands to your heart. As we finish the class for today. And thank you very much, everyone, for joining me today.